I told people. I thought I told you that I wanted you to stop forcing the younger employees to go out drinking with you. And on top of that, you have no business discussing other people's private lives when they aren't there, or at all for that matter. I am trying to keep a modicum of decorum around the office, and you're making that very difficult. Well, I never said that I give a damn about what kind of silly rules you want to try and enforce around here, didn't I? And do you really think you could talk down to me like this after you got cheated on? I mean, even if you might be good at your job, it sounds like you weren't exactly good at keeping your family together now, does it? I hardly see how any of that concerns you in the slightest, Josh. Well, I don't know what you want me to say. You're the boss, and I just thought the people should know the kind of mental state that you're in right now. Of course, I can't really blame your wife for not wanting to be with you. After all, you really have got nothing in the looks department, especially compared to me. So I can't really say that I blame your wife for wanting to sleep around either. Look, Josh, I'm going to tell you this one last time. This is a personal matter that has nothing to do with you at all. And quite frankly, I don't think that you had a single good reason for sharing that information with people from the office. You know, it's because you have this big stick up your ass that you got cheated on, Mark. Your wife was probably just as sick of you trying to talk down to her as we all are of it here. Again, this really has nothing to do with you at all. How about you focus less on office gossip and more on doing your job correctly? Oh yeah, boss, I'll be sure and do that for you. But then again, you know that there are even rumors of you doing all kinds of underhanded things to get to where you are today, right? And people are starting to resent having such a sneaky, slimy boss lording his power over them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're the one spreading those rumors around, aren't you? Honestly, what are you trying that's the case. Because you're gonna get demoted, and then I'm gonna be given your position. So you can try and play nice all you want. It won't change what I'll do to you once I have your position. I'll make you regret ever trying to interfere in my life. Oh, is that what you were talking about? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint, but I won't be getting demoted. And you won't be getting promoted either. What are you talking about? But you know about all the rumors that are being spread about you at work, right? How do you think you'll ever be able to recover from them? At the end of the day, all they are baseless rumors. And no one really thought much of them beyond that, if you must know. Besides, I've already explained to our boss that those rumors weren't anything that I've actually done, but just being spread by you. Of course, it took some time to gather the negative proof that I hadn't done what you said, but once I had it, it was all clear that you'd planned this. So then, you mean you were able to clear yourself from the rumors, and then the boss was able to see that I was the only one capable of spreading them? Is that what you're saying? Not only that, but he actually wants to talk to you in his office when he gets the chance to. Because now he knows that it wasn't just rumors about my wedding that you were spreading when you did that. But then, you mean I thought you were going to get demoted? Are you really not? I actually think that you're the one that's going to get demoted. I mean, you wasted so much work time just making up these dumb stories. Do you have any idea all the trouble that you've caused around here? Meanwhile, I really haven't been doing anything at all. Anyways, the big boss wants to see you bright and early tomorrow morning, or else you're fired. I don't have anything else to say to you beyond that, so take care. After that, Josh was called into the department supervisor's office. He was chastised for spreading rumors and wasting time before being fired for missing so many days of work without so much as a phone call. I thought he was just going to be demoted, but he really ended up losing his job. After he was gone, productivity in our department increased by about 50%. I really haven't thought much about Josh, his marital status, what he's doing for a living, or where he even is living since then. I just don't have that kind of time to waste. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey, Mary. Caleb is going on a business trip from today, right? Has he left already? Hey there, Linda. Yeah, that's right, he is. He has already left, actually. Not too long ago. Is there something that you wanted from him before you left? Or is something else up? I was just wondering when he would be coming back, that's all. I think he will be back in about a week or so. Oh, so I guess that means that you have a whole bunch of free time for a week then. Isn't that nice? Well, I wouldn't really say that. And why not? If Caleb isn't around, doesn't that mean that you have more time than you normally would? I mean, sure, in some way, but I still have my part-time job as normal as well. Plus, since he is out of the house, I was planning on doing a deep clean of the house since it's more difficult to do that when there's someone else around. So, I wouldn't really say that I'm just flush with free time. What are you talking about? You two live in an apartment, so it's not that big, and cleaning shouldn't really take that much of your time, right? Instead of that, there is another place that you should be cleaning instead. What do you mean? Where would that be? I'm talking about my house, of course. Since my husband died, I have had to look after this place all on my own. As my daughter-in-law, you should really come without me even asking and help me out, but you don't get it unless I say it straight out. Oh, I'm sorry about that. You really should be thinking more about what you could do to help me out, you know? I don't want to have to say it myself all of the time. I know that it's a bit last minute, but could you come round today to clean up for me? Today? You want me to come by today? It's still only around midday, so you still have plenty of time, right? There's a bunch of things that I want you to clean for me. Well, actually, I need to go somewhere to pick up a package that I bought in the evening. Yeah, but that's the evening. You still have plenty of time until then. Give them a call and change the time. Okay, sure, I will do that then. I will head over in a little bit. I also want you to cook some dinner for me while you're here as well. It's just been so hot recently that I struggle to have the energy to make anything for myself. So, can you stop in at the store on the way here and buy some ingredients? It would be best to make a brunch that will last me for the next few days, I think. So make sure to get enough food from the supermarket for that. Okay, then I will stop at the supermarket on the way too. Was there anything specific that you wanted? No, you can just buy something that you know how to cook. But you are still not doing what you're supposed to be as my daughter-in-law. I'll make sure to teach you exactly how you're supposed to act in the week before Caleb comes back. Mary, I'm eating the food that you cooked for me a few days ago, and I have to say the flavor is really lacking something. What is this? How did you even make the food taste like this in the first place? I have never had something so bad in my life. Oh, sorry about that, Linda. I tried to cook something that you gave me a recipe for before and cook it like you taught me to, but I guess it didn't work out as planned. I did my best, though. I don't want to hear excuses from you. You must not have listened to me properly when I was telling you how it was done. If you did it like I taught you, then it would have turned out much better than it did. I'll make sure to be more careful next time then, to make it more to your liking. I wonder if being careful as you say will even do anything at all. That doesn't seem to be the problem. At this point, I think it's more of an issue of talent than anything. You just don't have the knack for cooking, it seems. Really, I don't know how you have been making food like this for Caleb this whole time, and he hasn't said anything to you about it. Oh, well, I'm sorry that you think it's not up to standard. If you really are sorry, then instead of apologizing, you should just put in some more effort to get better at cooking. Also, it's already been about 4 days since you came to clean up my house for the first time. But you still haven't even finished cleaning the second floor. Why is it taking so long for you to do? Were you just pretending to clean but then slacking off while I wasn't looking or something? I haven't been slacking off at all. But I had to take everything down and put it outside to make it easier to clean and to clean the dust off of everything. Plus, I needed to clean the insides of all the drawers and check the boxes of clothes to make sure that there weren't any moths inside, eating all the clothes. It just takes a lot of time, no matter how fast I try to work. But there are only 2 rooms upstairs in the first place. It shouldn't take anyone that long to finish cleaning it. Why are you going so slowly? Well, just like you said before about it being too hot for you to want to cook, the rooms upstairs are boiling hot, and having to move furniture around and clean in that heat is making it really difficult for me. Won't you just let me turn on the air conditioner to make it a little easier for myself? Oh, here we go. You straight away want to find a way to make it easier. You know, there are people who work day in and day out in the scorching sun. Do you think they have any air conditioning to make it easy on themselves? Of course they don't. But you are out of the sun and inside the house, and you still can't work properly without complaining. Even if it's in the shade, the heat still makes me sluggish, and it's hard to do too much. That's just proof that you're always lazing around and aren't used to working. My daughter-in-law? Time for you to learn how to really put your back into things. If you hadn't been slacking before, then you wouldn't have had to do so much work now. If you want me to accept you into this family properly, then you had better listen to what I tell you. Mary, where's my lunch? Why isn't it ready yet? Oh my god. I just looked outside too, and the yard is still a complete mess. You haven't finished the weeding at all. What do you think you're doing? And now you've just left all of the tools you were using and run off somewhere without finishing the job?
And what about you? Where the hell did you run off to? Where were you?
What? How dare you talk to me like that? It's none of your business what I was doing. Don't just slack off and leave to go somewhere else. Come back here right now and finish what you started.
Shut up. Mary just got taken to the hospital, you know.
What are you talking about? What's been up with you? This isn't how you're supposed to be talking to me.
Linda, this isn't Mary. This is Steve.
What? Steve? Why would you be on the phone now?
Yeah, exactly. It's Steve.
What are you talking about? Stop messing around, Mary. I won't believe what you say just because you're pretending to be Steve right now.
Enough of this already, Linda. Mary's in an ambulance being taken to the hospital right now. I left my phone at home, so I'm using hers instead.
Is this really Steve?
Yes, it is, like I said before. I just walked past your house not long ago and I saw Mary on the ground in the garden. She was passed out, so I called an ambulance and we're on our way to the hospital now.
Oh, is that so? I didn't realize that was what had happened. I was sure that she just ran off to try and get out of doing the gardening. I'm so sorry that Mary has caused you this trouble, Steve. She really can be a handful, that girl. I will go and meet you at the hospital then. Do you know where you are being taken?
No, there's no need for you to come. You have no use here. You should just stay there and finish the gardening off yourself. It still needs doing, right?
Come on, stop with those kinds of jokes. It's over 100 degrees outside right now. I can't be in the garden pulling out weeds in this kind of heat. It's impossible.
So you're okay with making Mary do it for you in the sun, but you can't do it yourself?
She said that she could do it, so I asked her for help. She basically volunteered to do it. And there is a big difference in our ages as well. She is much younger than me, so it's not as hard for her as it is for me.
was family and wanted to help as much as I could, but I'm not going to do that anymore.
Steve, please, I'm sorry about what happened before, but can't you rethink your decision? I still really need your help to survive. I can't get by on my own.
Anymore. This has already been talked about and decided on. I'm not going to help you anymore. And just because I live nearby, I don't want you coming around to my place either. If you come to my house, I'm going to call the police on you and have them remove you for trespassing.
What? You're going to call the police on me? On family? That's going way too far, don't you think? You don't need to do something like that. We have gotten along so well up until now as well. Why would you even say that to me?
No, I have done my best to get along with you, but you have never done anything in return. Not for me or for anyone else in the family. You couldn't even come and help when my mom got really sick and needed someone to look after her at all. But even though you didn't do that, or have any relationship with her at all, you still tried to go after her inheritance when she died.
Well, she had always been really rude to me, so I didn't really want to show my face in front of her. That's a normal reaction considering the relationship I had with her.
All she did was try to give you some warnings about how you were spending your money, but you started complaining that she was harassing you and making your life a misery. You were the one who tried to make her look like the bad guy in the situation.
But I was young back then, so I made some mistakes because of that.
Neither I nor any other relatives have any intention of looking out for you anymore. I feel bad for my brother that I can't look after his wife now that he's gone, but I think I have done enough already.
Steve, come on, I am really sorry. I will make sure not to spend money the way I have been. So, please, isn't there a way that you could be convinced to keep sending me some money for my expenses?
Don't make me repeat myself. I hate doing that. I told you that this conversation was over, and I'm not going to keep helping you. It doesn't matter what you say to me, my decision is already final. And if you want to apologize, you're apologizing to the wrong person. You should be apologizing to Mary and not me. It seems as though you haven't even said a single word to her yet.
That's only because she ended up blocking my phone number, so I can't message her. Otherwise, I would have apologized to her already. You know that.
Then you should have gone through Caleb and asked him to apologize for you. There are other ways to do things if you really had the thought to do so.
But he also stopped replying to my messages and won't answer my phone calls either. I can't get through to both of them.
I'm not surprised about that either. The first things out of your mouth at the time were just complaints about Mary and not an apology. Of course no one will want to talk to you now because of that. You couldn't even admit that you did the wrong thing but tried immediately to pass the blame onto someone else. You should be ashamed of yourself. It's no wonder that even your own son wants nothing to do with you now.
Fine. I understand. Look, I won't ask you for help anymore, okay? But in exchange, will you help me improve things with Caleb and Mary again?
So that you can ask them to support you instead of me? Even now you're going to keep thinking only of yourself, aren't you?
Well, I think they earn enough to be able to do that. It won't be a big ask of them. Or maybe they will let me move in with them so that I don't have to worry about this big house.
Linda, you still don't understand the situation, do you? Caleb and Mary don't want anything to do with you ever again.
But the two of them are really kind, so I'm sure that they will do something if I ask them for it.
I really can't believe you. It's incredible that you can even think like that right now. But luckily for you, I'm actually with Mary right now, so I will put her on now.
Wait, what? You're with Mary? Hi, Linda. It's been a few days. Oh, Mary, it's so good to hear from you. I was trying to call you and Caleb, but I couldn't get through at all. I was so worried about you, you know? I'm so sorry that this all happened because I asked you to pull the weeds from my garden. I never thought that you would have passed out from the heat. Enough with the apologies. I don't need it from you. Just as Steve said earlier, I don't plan on having anything to do with you anymore. Don't say such sad things like that. We can get along like we used to, right? I know that I was wrong and I regret what I did. I was far too strict on you, and I promise that I won't ask you to do anything like this again. I know that you're a kind soul, so you will forgive me, won't you? No, actually, I won't. I won't forgive you. Wait, really? You're joking though, right? But I said that I won't be harsh on you anymore. Everything will be just fine. I think we should be able to get along even better than we did before. You're joking, right? I don't want to get along with you at all, you know. Why would I want that now? What's going on, Mary? This doesn't seem like your usual self. You're never like this usually. And what is my usual self then? What is that you're referring to? Is it the me who would listen to everything you told me to do no matter what it is? Or maybe the me who wanted you to accept me because you are Caleb's mother? Is that what you're talking about? Well, yeah, I guess it is. I want the two of us to get along again, so you will forgive me, won't you? No, I won't do anything of the sort, as I said already. You put me through a lot, and in the end, I even fainted from the heat and the work you were making me do. But I finally realized I was wrong to just listen to everything just because you are Caleb's mom. I thought that we were a family, so I wanted to do whatever I could to help you out when you needed it. I did my best for you, but it was a mistake on my part to do that. But now Steve and Caleb are both telling me that I don't need to worry about that anymore. But listen, I won't act like I did before. I've had a complete change of heart, and of course I was thinking of accepting you into this family as well. I won't do anything mean to you anymore like before. Oh, so you did realize that what you were doing was wrong this entire time? Let me tell you that the person who has things like that done to them won't forget it. And I know that the only reason you're even apologizing to me now is because Steve said that he will cut his financial support to you. A fake apology like that isn't going to fool me. It's not a fake apology. I really regret it from the bottom of my heart. I don't think someone who is really sorry would actually say that. I have no expectations or anything from you anymore. The same goes for Caleb, Steve, and the rest of the family. You should just pretend like we don't exist and live on your own from now on. No, don't say that, Mary. Please, forgive me. I really am sorry. And if you forgive me, then I'm sure that everyone else will listen to me as well. We can all go back to how it was before. No, Caleb already decided himself that he doesn't want to have anything to do with you. You're the only one who wants to go back to how things were before anyway. He was also upset that I didn't tell him about any of this before as well. And he's right. I should have told him how you were treating me earlier. But it's too late to think about that now anyway. It was he who suggested cutting you off in the first place, you know. It wasn't my idea. He said that he can't think of anyone that abuses his wife as family. Please, don't abandon me like this, Mary. We don't need to take this so far. I just got a little ahead of myself and felt spoiled by your kindness. But I promise that I really will change from now on. Don't say things like you will cut me out of your lives. If you realize that you are taking advantage of my kindness, then don't keep trying to do it now. I have no reason to forgive you, and neither does anyone else. Good luck and goodbye. After that, Linda tried to come by our house to talk to us in person, but we ignored her and didn't let her in until she left. She then also tried to go around to Steve's house and some other relatives, but they did the same. Once, she even tried to break into Steve's house to steal money from him since he stopped giving her money, but he called the police on her. She was let off with a warning, but he told her that next time that she tried something like that, he would press charges, and so she stopped causing trouble for everyone after that. In the meantime, my husband and I moved house to somewhere that Linda doesn't know so that we could start a new life without her interfering. Now that she has no one to help her out, She has to rely only on her pension, and she can barely get by on that, so it seems like she is not living a great life. We happened to drive past her house one time, and it looked as though it were completely abandoned, with no signs of life at all. However, some people who we know from the neighborhood said that they still see her from time to time at the supermarket, so I guess she is still alive and well. I did want to get along with Linda since she was part of the family, but I realize now that I shouldn't have put myself through so much to try and get her approval. I should have let Caleb know about how she was treating me sooner than I did. But having said that, I don't regret what happened, and we are better off now without her around. From now on, I just want to focus on the people in my life who meet me halfway and support me in times of need, and create a good life for myself, my husband, and any kids we might have in the future.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
something like that?
Of course it's an emergency. I really need to talk to you about something.
Oh no. Don't tell me that your mom had another accident and had to go to the hospital. I've been sending more money just like you were saying I should.
I never asked you to do any of that. Don't go putting words into my mouth.
Wait, what? But you did. You told me that your mom fell because I wasn't sending enough money.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you that I didn't talk to you at all about you sending money at all. So again, stop putting words into my mouth.
I don't get what you mean. I mean, I have those texts from your number. Are you telling me that it wasn't you sending those?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. I didn't send those messages at all.
But then, if they were coming from your number, then who was really sending them?
Well, Mom took my phone away from me a couple months ago, so if anyone was messaging you from my number before now, it was probably my mom.
You're telling me that it was your mom sending me those messages that whole time?
Yeah, she keeps hiding my phone, and I haven't touched it in a long time. But I just found out, and that's why I'm reaching out to you. I had to wait until Mom was out of the house to even do this.
So then, you're telling me that you weren't just avoiding me, but you just couldn't talk to me?
That's right. And I guess that Mom was pretending to be me this whole time. But anything that she might have told you as me until now is just a lie.
Are you really sure that it was your mom doing something like that?
Of course! I mean, do you really think that I would say the kind of things that she was saying to you? You know that I could never talk to you like that, Dad.
Well, I really did think that it was weird for you to be acting that way. But I was just thinking that you might have been stressed. Or it was a puberty thing or something like that. I'm really sorry I didn't realize it wasn't you.
Well, it's okay as long as you realize that you're talking to the real me now. And don't get tricked by anyone pretending to be me again.
I'm sorry, and I promise to try not to let it happen again. But why would your mom do something like this?
It's because she wants money. I have to tell you all about what Mom has been up to for the past year, but you're not going to like it.
Okay, well, this sounds like something we should talk about in person. I finish work at 6. Can you meet me then?
Yeah, I should be free by 6. I'll be finishing up with my club at school.
Okay then, I'll see you then. I'll go and pick you up at school, so wait for me there after stay with you. And you know what I think? I bet the police would agree with me that it's better for our daughter to stay with her preferred parent.
Hey, Mom, it's me, Rachel. I really do want to stay with Dad.
But I don't understand. Where is this coming from? Since when did you want to live with your dad? You really don't want to live with me anymore?
Mom, I really just can't see my life going in a good direction if I stayed there with you. And I just know that Dad is going to take better care of me than you are.
What? What do you mean? Are you really going to just forget about all the things that I've done for you? You ungrateful little ingrate.
Mom, what are you talking about? What have you ever done for me? I mean, I'm not saying that you haven't ever put any time into raising me, but I think the times that you've just caused me trouble has been way more frequent.
What are you talking about? Think of all the ways that we've had to get over hardships together.
Mom, please, you know that neither of us would have been able to make it this far if it wasn't for Dad's money. Especially since you never ever do any work, and you just spend all our money. You never cook for me, and you barely even give me enough money for food. Do you know how many days I had to rely on school lunches for my meals?
Oh, what are you talking about? We have plenty of food in the fridge.
Literally, half the foods in the fridge are rotten because you barely ever go and buy food. It's honestly not even a choice for me when it comes to choosing between you and Dad. Did you know that I don't even tell my friends about you because I'm so embarrassed about the kind of person you are? But now I finally managed to get away from you, and I won't ever have to put up with you again. So just sign the divorce papers and go live your life without me. It's what you've been doing this whole time anyways.
Wait, no, honey, please, don't do this to me. I'm going to be in serious trouble if you leave me. Please, Harold, Rachel, somebody answer me.
After that, Vanessa tried to fight the process, but in the end she signed the papers and I was able to take full custody of Rachel. There were times where I wanted to give up, but anytime I did, I thought of Rachel and knew that I couldn't let her down. Because Rachel did have to come and live with me, however. She had to move schools, but she was more than happy to leave since her mother-induced poverty made her a target of bullies. After moving schools, I heard that Vanessa was seen in the streets publicly drinking, calling out for Rachel to come back. That was the last we heard of her since Rachel and I decided to move to a new town to get away from Vanessa entirely. I know that this transition is going to bring a lot of changes to both mine and Rachel's lives, but right now, she's my #1 priority. I had no idea what she was going through while she was living with her mom, and I am not going to make that mistake again. I won't lose my daughter ever again. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey Sandra, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I told my mom the dates that we figured out for our wedding. And I showed her some of the pictures that we took when we went out to check out the venue.
Oh, okay, good to know. What did your mom think? Did she have anything to say?
Oh, you know how she is always. She just said that's nice and continued about her business.
I see. So basically we got nothing from that. Are you sure your mom approves of us getting married?
Sure she does. I mean, I know that if you think about it, I am pretty sure my mom is okay with this. Or at the very least, even if she isn't thrilled about it, I don't think that she's against it or anything, especially since before she was always bugging me about when I'd get married. So I don't actually think she'd complain to me now that I actually am.
Guess so, but I certainly get the impression that I'm not the kind of person she imagined marrying you.
I know that you think that, but what is it that you think my mom doesn't like about you?
I think it's because my family came from the country, and I guess your mom might think that I'm a hick or something like that.
I mean, you could be right about that, but I don't see anything wrong with that, and I actually really like your family. Both of your parents have been so nice and welcoming to me, and I'm really grateful for it. The only one to be complaining about any of this at all is my mom.
Oh, well, I really am glad that you like my parents that much. I know that both my parents are big fans of you as well. And I think that my family has plenty to offer and can't just be written off for where they come from. But I just wish that there was a good way to make your mom see all of this.
Well, I can try talking to her and really explaining just how good your family really is. But just know that no matter what she says, I'm still marrying you.
And that makes me really happy to have you say that, but I still wish that your mom wouldn't act like this. I mean, I'm about to marry her son, and it feels like she doesn't want me to.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think we need to give my mom time to get to know you better. Then she'll see how good you are for me and what a good couple we are. I know that she'll come around, so just be patient and focus on the wedding for now. You know, I still feel so lucky to have you in my life, Sandra. I mean, I really can't think of anyone else who I'd like to spend my life with. Not only that, but you really are just so beautiful. I could just spend all day staring into your big, gorgeous eyes.
What is all this about? Do you really like looking at me that much, Anthony?
Of course I do. I love you, and I really like your family as well. I've enjoyed the times that we've spent to visit with your parents. They are always eating the freshest foods straight from their garden and even send us home with some stuff. I mean, what could there even be to dislike about that? Especially when the quality of the food that they're giving us is the kind that we'd have to shell out extra for in a normal grocery store.
I have to say that I was pretty surprised by just how much you seemed to like being out there. But only in a good way. I was just happy that you weren't judging my family at all. After all, your mom isn't the only person to look down on me for where my family is from.
Well, I don't think that way in the slightest, but it is true that I don't have a single relative that lives the way that your parents do. So maybe that's why ever since I was little, I've dreamed about living on a big farm or ranch, just to be able to escape the hustle and bustle and noise of the city. When you come home, sound is so nice. But my mom is just the opposite. I think that back in her day, kids from the farm were bullied and looked down on more than our generation.
Well, you know that it's not all beautiful sunsets and fresh produce, right? I mean, out there's also lots of bugs and pests, and there's hardly anything to do in town, too.
I know, but it's not like you're bringing any of those negatives from the countryside with you when you visit my mom. But also, your brother is taking over the family farm anyways, right? Not only that, but your parents also said that when they retired, they were going to settle into a retirement home. Isn't that right?
That's what they said. They have a decent amount saved up over the years and said they didn't want to be a burden on us kids.
And I've tried explaining all that to my mom as well, but no matter how many times I try to tell her, she just doesn't seem to get it.
Well, I don't think that your mom's dislike for the country comes from any real logic or good reason. I think maybe she was just raised a different way and hasn't gotten over her biases.
I guess, but I think that we should let her get away with that just because she's older. But also at this point, I just hope that she won't make any trouble for us in the future. Especially considering that my mom is basically only going to have her pension to live off. So when she finally settles down, I think that the duty of taking care of her is going to fall on me. I mean, of course I have my sister as well, but as the eldest child, I think it'll mostly be my job.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense. But that would mean that I would also be taking care of her, right?
I mean, I certainly wouldn't hope that you would leave me to do it all by myself, but yes, I think that's the situation.
Of course not. I'd love to help out in any way that I can. I just hope that your mom and I can become closer before that happens.
Well, thanks again so much for talking to me about this. I'll think of what I can try to say to Mom, but I just don't know what to do these days.
I understand, but the most important thing for me right now is trying to become closer to her. I mean, I know that we'll all have a long time to do so since you and I are getting married, but still.
I know what you mean, and I really am sorry that this is even an issue in the first place, but I just hope that Mom actually liked the venue I showed her. I told her about how the catering company we were looking at had some of her favorite dishes, but she just gave me the same stoic response.
Yeah, that woman really is inscrutable, but hopefully with time we can see more eye to eye.
Hey there, Sandra. I just wanted to let you know that I tried talking to my mom.
Oh no, it doesn't sound like you're about to tell me very good news.
Well, it's actually about the day of the wedding. My mom wants me to go and pick up my grandparents and bring them here.
Wait, what? I thought you said that your sister was going to be doing that, right?
Yeah, I mean, she was supposed to, but I guess that her car broke down the other day, and it won't be repaired in time before the wedding.
Oh no, that really sucks. Tell her that I'm sorry that happened, but I still don't get why you would have to go. I mean, it's literally your wedding day, and it's probably best if we just stick close to the venue, don't you think? Besides, will you even have the time to be able to go and get them?
Well, my mom was saying that the groom really doesn't have all that much of a role in the wedding until the very end, so I guess she really wants me to go and get my grandparents.
I can understand that, but it doesn't mean that there aren't things that you need to do to get ready for when I walk down the aisle. And what happens if you get caught in traffic while you're out? What would we do then?
I've been thinking about that as well, but my mom really insistent about this. She really said that she wanted me to spend more time with my grandparents and that I should be trying to make good final memories with them.
I mean, it's not that I don't respect the sentiment or anything, but shouldn't there be other memories that you try and make on the day of your wedding?
Sandra, you and I are absolutely on the same side with all of this, but I just couldn't turn down my mom. She just kept asking me over and over again.
I see. Well, I guess it sounds like you're going to pick up your grandparents then.
I really did try and tell my mom that it wouldn't work. I told her that I'd be too busy to do that, and then my mom told me that I was being ungrateful for all the good things that my grandparents did for me. She kept getting more angry and upset with me, and she kept making me feel bad about not doing it, that eventually I just folded.
Oh, wow. I'm really sorry to hear that, Anthony. I hope she wasn't too upset with you.
I mean, it had been a while since I saw her get worked up like that, I think. But man, it was more annoying than anything. It's that she refuses to accept that I'm an adult with my own life and responsibilities now. But I didn't want to tell her now and have her in a sour mood on the day of our wedding either. So anyways, I'm just sorry about all of this.
You don't have anything to apologize for. I mean, none of this is your fault anyways. And besides, you're right about it being a good idea to try and make sure your mom is happy the day of our wedding.
I just want the wedding to go smoothly and as little drama as possible. It's too important a day to let these petty gripes ruin it. But I just don't get it. I mean, I'm still living at home with her. So why are we going to the wedding separately in the first place? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I'm sure that your mom has her reasons, and it's not like you don't have 2 cars, so I guess it doesn't not make sense. But just please try and be quick about getting your grandparents and coming back, okay?
Of course, I would really hate for anything to delay you and I getting married. I promise that I'll do my best to not be late, okay?
And tell your parents that I'm sorry for all the rushing that they'll probably be doing on that day as well.
Well, I think that it's my mom who owes them an apology for deciding all of this, but I'm sure that it'll be fine.
I'm just glad that you guys have 2 cars to be dealing with all of this. I guess that means that you'll take the big car and I'll take the smaller one with your mom?
Sounds good, but I really am sorry for all this. I'm pretty upset at my mom for putting this in my lap at the last second. Our wedding should be a day where we only think of each other.
I know, but I'm sure that your mom has her reasons for this as well. And at the end of the day, it sounds like she's trying to bring the family closer together, so I can't fault that.
You really are too kind. Do you know that, Sandra? You don't deserve to have your wedding day messed up like this either. But man, my mom can get a bit scary when she gets angry about stuff like this.
It's okay. I think I've gotten used to the idea of her acting like this for now. Hello there, Anthony. I don't know if you've heard, but your wedding is canceled.
Mom, what are you talking about? What do you mean my wedding is canceled?
I know that Sandra isn't going to be showing up to the wedding. You see, she was in a car accident and now she can't even move. So I'm afraid that you two will just have to cancel your wedding, but how about we go out for a family lunch instead?
Hold on a second. Just what do you think you're doing, messaging me on a day like this? Who do you think you are?
Who do you think I am? I think that I'm your mother, so how about that?
Oh, really? Because I don't think of you as a mother at all. So how about that?
What in the world are you talking about, Anthony? What has gotten into you?
I mean, that I know that you messed with the car that Sandra was going to take. And anyone who would do that to my wife is no family member of mine.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all.
Oh, come on. I know that you sabotaged the car that Sandra took. She even told me that you said you'd just take a taxi to the venue at the last second. And now you pretend like nothing has happened? You just want to go out for a family lunch? Are you that opposed to me getting married?
Anthony, I'm sorry, but I really have no idea what's gotten into you or why you're so upset right now.
Oh, just give it a rest, Mom. I know that it was you that did it. Just be honest with me.
I am being honest with you, and I am telling you that I have no idea what you're talking about. Why should I be against you marrying Sandra? Oh, wait, that's right. It's because I know what's best for you, and I can tell you that it certainly isn't her.
Aha. So you do admit that you really are against us getting married, but you really don't know what you're talking about, because I'm the one that doesn't deserve Sandra. And the only person in our whole family who has a problem with her is you. But even so, I didn't think that you'd go so far as to try to sabotage a car that Sandra would drive on the street. You caused this accident.
Okay, this is just getting ridiculous. How can you accuse me of causing the accident? I wasn't the one behind the wheel. Do you have any proof of what you're saying? Hello there. I bet you weren't expecting to hear from me, Sandra. And yes, if you must know, I have plenty of evidence. I even have someone that you confessed thinking of this plan to. Wait, Sandra? How can this be? What's going on? You made it to the wedding? I had to call a taxi, but yes, I made it to my own wedding despite your best attempts to stop me. As for you, well, I think you can probably already imagine the kind of car trouble I was having before it stopped moving. But you do realize that you've committed a crime, right? Neither of you know what you're talking about at all. It wasn't like that. I didn't do anything. Look, I get that you really, really don't like me, but you didn't have to take things this far. Shut up! You don't get to tell me what to do! You think that a country hick like you can just waltz into my family? And just what about where I come from upsets you so much? How does my coming from the country even affect you? It affects me because I know that you joining my family means that your lousy hick parents are going to try and steal everything. You are literally the only person saying any of these things about my parents. I mean, even Anthony's grandparents say that they really like me and don't care at all about my background. Well, I don't care. I don't want a lousy daughter-in-law like you, got it? Besides, I know for a fact that my daughter hates you. No, you're not right about that either. Anthony's sister is actually completely supportive. Well, that can't be right. She talks bad about you all the time. She says that she can't stand the idea of you becoming her sister-in-law. Oh, she may have thought that, but that was only because you were giving her faulty information. But Anthony and I have made sure to clear up any misunderstandings you might have been causing. It was your sister, wasn't it? She was the one who told you about what I did to the car, didn't she?
That's right. Actually, she arrived about the same time that Sandra did to the wedding venue. She showed her some of the texts that you've been sending, talking about all your plans.
I don't believe it. Betrayed by my own child. I really thought that I could trust her with that.
Come on, did you really think that anyone would be okay with a plan like this? If you actually thought that anyone would back up this horrible behavior that you've been exhibiting, then that's on you. In fact, you complain so much about Sandra, but the fact is, you've never given her a fair chance.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. Can't you see that she's just fooling you? She doesn't have your best interests at heart. You don't know anything at all. I am your mother and I know best.
No, Mom. You're the one who's completely clueless about everything, and you certainly don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Sandra. All you do is focus on the fact that her family lives out in the country. But if anyone should be embarrassed about their families, then I'm the one that should be embarrassed to be related to you.
Anthony, how could you say that to your own mother? What is the matter with you?
I'm only telling you how I really feel. I mean, what if Sandra had seriously been injured? Thankfully, there wasn't any real accident. Sandra realized her car wasn't performing well, put on her hazards, and pulled over right away. But if she hadn't thought on her feet so quickly, she could have ended up hurt or dead. Is that what you wanted to happen to the woman I want to marry?
Of course not. That's not what I wanted to happen at all. I didn't know what might happen.
But that's just another lie. I've already seen the text, and you said that you don't care at all what happens to Sandra. You're nothing but a liar and a criminal, Mom.
But Sandra's safe, isn't she? I don't see what the big deal is if nothing actually happened to her.
If you think that you're going to get away with that just because Sandra wasn't hurt, you're dead wrong. I am never ever going to forgive you for this. Do you understand?
Please, son, I really don't think that there's any need to be so upset with me. I mean, you just got married, a newlywed husband. happy life in the future.
Harmony, I just finished up work, so I'll be coming home now. Did you make dinner for me?
Hello, Duncan. I just finished making dinner a few hours ago, so it's ready to eat when you come home. Will you eat it right when you come through the door?
I think so. Did Kyle already finish all his dinner?
He did. I made sure this time. He and I ate right after I finished cooking. Did you want to eat with him or something?
No, actually. I don't want to see Kyle's face right now, so that's good he ate dinner already. When I get home, tell that boy not to come out of his room at all.
Hey, why are you being so rash right now? I'm sure you're a little upset right now about him having failed his last test, but it's not the end of the world. I'm sure he already knows as well that he messed up, so you don't have to make him feel any worse about it.
Well, he made me feel bad. All of that time spent helping him study was for what? I can't believe after a whole year of being in that school with my help, he failed that freaking test. How dare he? I want all that time I spent teaching him back now.
Would you stop talking like that? He is your son, and he tried his very best. And you yourself were telling him that it's not a big deal if he passed that test or not, right? Now you're going to get all angry about it as though you were lying to him that whole time?
It doesn't matter if that test meant much, because he failed it. My family has all been known for being very well educated. I myself made it through grade school with straight A's, and then went on to a very prestigious university. And you went there as well, right? I will not have the son of two very well intelligent and educated people like us fail any test. I said that the test wasn't that important, but I did not say that he can fail it that badly. He shouldn't have failed it at all. Are you going to tell me that you forgave him for what he did?
I really don't want to have to bring this up to you, but the reason that Kyle failed that test was because of you. You have no right to be ignoring what you did and blaming him for everything.
Huh? Why was that my fault? No matter how you look at it, it's the boy's fault.
And it's that reason right there, because you always have to blame someone for everything that Kyle did not pass the test. I get that it was his last test of the year, but you were pushing him so hard, having him study every single night for 2 to 3 hours straight. That looked more like you bullying the poor kid than anything else.
I did all of that for his sake. And well, I never thought that he was that much of an idiot though. I will apologize for not realizing that about him sooner. Ha ha ha.
Do you have any idea how many times you made your son cry by forcing him to study like that all the time? You never let him go out to see any of his friends. That kid has been studying for pretty much 1 whole year for a test that literally did not matter because his grades were already fine. And the other thing that's really not okay here is that he's only a 6th grader. Who really cares about his grades when he's in elementary school?
I told you that was all for his sake. If he doesn't start to become perfect now, then he's never going to be a useful adult in the future. So he has no time to be going out and playing anymore.
You have been doing all of this to our son without even listening to what I've had to say, right? And this is the result of it. Your son breaking down and failing his last test of the year. Kyle has started to avoid looking at you whenever you're both home together. Do you really think that's a good thing for either of you?
It's because you keep spoiling the kid that he's turned into an idiot. You are a failure as a mother for acting that way. The only two to blame here for his failures are you and him.
Why are you not able to think I just want you to stop acting like such a jerk and maybe take a long second to think about your son for a change.
Harmony, I'm sorry about yesterday night. I became so upset then, I couldn't control everything I said. I'm sorry.
Were you able to take some time and think about how Kyle feels?
Yes, I was able to calm myself down after some time, and that's when I put some thought into him. I know now that what I had been doing to and saying about Kyle was very wrong, and I am sorry for all of that.
I don't want to ask this, but are you being serious about what you're saying right now? It's only been a day, yet you're already saying you've thought it all through and are sorry for everything?
I understand why you'd ask that, but I have really thought about a lot of things all night long. I know that I've been forcing you and Kyle to live with my views on how things should be run for a long time now. That's what I think now.
If you really have thought about all your wrongs, then I guess we're okay now. But it's only been one day since then, so I'm not sure just how much I can believe you.
And I can totally understand feeling that way. That's why I think the best way to go about this is by showing you that I've thought this all over and I'm sorry.
Showing me would be the easiest to understand. I'm sure for Kyle that would be the best way of getting him to forgive you as well. But what exactly do you plan to do that'll show the both of us that you're sorry and that you'll never do those things again? Saying you'll do something is the easy part, but actually doing said things will be far harder, right?
Well, to start, I'll make sure to show both of you that I really am sorry for last night. I understand that saying sorry is not much, but at the very least, it's a start.
I suppose that's true. And what else?
For the time being, I won't say anything about how Kyle studies. And I'll stop trying to avoid him as well. I'll make sure to be around him as a father and nothing else.
You are aware that both myself and Kyle are still not going to be able to trust you fully yet, right? I really hope you continue to just act as his father and nothing else.
I am the one that ended up corrupting my family's values. But I'll make sure that in order to change how I value my son, to work hard at that change every day.
I see. Well, that's really good to hear. I'm still not sure how well all of this is going to work out for you, but hearing you say that, it fills me with a tiny amount of hope. But just know that if things don't start to change with you, then I'll have to put in a lot more thought about you as well.
A lot more thought about me?
Listen, Duncan, in all honesty, I was starting to think that if you didn't get your behavior together after last night, then I'd have to divorce you.
What? Are you serious?
That's how badly the way you've been treating our son has impacted me. And that's why I thought to myself, if you weren't going to change for the better, that I'd have to do something about it. And a divorce was the plan.
Wait, but something like that? You can't be that serious about a divorce.
You have learned what you've done wrong and are going to start changing now, right? Juliana, excuse me. I was finally able to take my lunch and get my phone. How have Duncan and Kyle been today? Harmony! Oh, thank goodness! I was just about to start trying to get a hold of you. What's going on there? Kyle fell down the stairs at your place. We had an ambulance called for him, and right now he's in the hospital. What? He's in the hospital? How is Kyle doing right now? Is he going to be all right? He still isn't woken back up. Right now, the doctor is with him in the ICU and working on him. Harmony, you need to hurry up and come here quickly. Of course, I'll be right over there. Duncan is there with you guys as well, right? I haven't been able to get anything from Duncan all day. I tried texting him, and then I tried calling him, and he's replied to neither of those things. Today, Duncan and Kyle were both together, right? Do you have any idea where he went? Actually, I only just made it over a little bit ago. When I arrived at the apartment building, the ambulance was already there, and I saw Kyle being taken out. I'm not sure what happened with Duncan, but I knew I needed to focus on Kyle for the time being. But this morning when I spoke with you, you said you'd be over to the house as soon as you could, right? And, well, after I was on the phone with you, I got a call from Duncan. He told me it'd be better for me to come around noon. All right, I see. Well, for the time being, let's just forget about Duncan then. Right now, we have to be focused on how Kyle is doing. That's right. So please, get here as quickly as you can. Yes, I'm working on that right now. I'll be there really soon. I am beyond shocked. Why are you in the same hospital as Kyle right now? Your mom was telling me the whole time that she wasn't able to get any kind of a response from you.
There was no way I could get back to her during everything. I was being taken into the hospital at the time and didn't know where I placed my phone.
I understand that, Duncan, but tell me why things turned out this way. Not only is Kyle in the hospital, but you are too? Something has gone very wrong here, and I want to know what happened.
You're telling me? I never thought that Kyle would ever do something as crazy as he did. How could that kid even be considered my son at this point? He is messed up.
Kyle is... What did Kyle do?
Before we talk about that, there's something I have to ask you. How is Kyle doing right now? Right now you were with him, making sure he is doing okay, right? Has he woken up or anything yet?
Well, at this point, he is still being cared for by the doctors and nurses. He had a terrible fall down the stairwell at the apartment building. Luckily, there were not too many other injuries to the rest of his body besides his head, but it will take a lot of time before he can be released.
I see. Well, at least he's still not in life-threatening condition.
But things are still not okay, Duncan. Kyle is still in that room and is barely even conscious.
And the only reason why you think things are worse than I do is because you have no idea what happened.
What happened then, Duncan?
On that day, him and I left the apartment to go and get something for lunch. But then, my mom told me she'd be coming to the apartment, so him and I started to head back. And as we were going up those stairs, he shoved me down them. I don't even want to think of him as my son anymore.
Kyle did that? Why would he do something like that to you?
I'm sure he was pissed about his final test results still. And just as I was getting around to realizing all the pain I'd caused him, this happened. I'm sorry, but I can't deal with you and that brat anymore.
Then what are you going to do?
Once he gets out of this hospital, I'll have my mom start taking care of him. Something like that actually happened between us. You shouldn't be against my choice, right?
Look, Duncan, you told me quite a few things just then that really make no sense at all to me. You're the jerk that pushed him down those stairs. Don't you dare blame my son for something you did ever again, you freak.
What? What's gotten into you, Harmony? What just happened?
Don't ask me what just happened. I was waiting for you to apologize to me for what you'd done, yet instead you started to tell me he pushed you down those stairs? How about you get some sleep before you start to say crap like that? Because so far the only words I'm hearing from your mouth are in your dreams.
Wait, no. I'm telling you the truth right now. Really? After that happened to me, you're still going to take the side of that brat? Look at the bigger picture, for God's sake. What would be the point of me doing something like that to him?
I'm sure there are plenty of reasons for what you did, one of them being that he failed his final test.
And I told you that I didn't care about that anymore. I said that from here on out, I'd make things right between him and I. So why would I do something like that to him?
You've been wanting to do that to him, right? You wanted to show me just how sorry you were, right? And that meant you going home and abusing my little boy? You wanted him out of the family after he failed that test, and that's why you did that to him.
Huh? What are you going on about right now? Seriously? You're starting to go just as crazy as he is. I get that I'm not the perfect father, but I'm still his dad. I would never ever do anything that would harm my son.
And that's what I thought myself as well. I believed that no matter how much you hated your son, you would never do anything to hurt him. That's why I was okay in the end with you spending the day with him alone. Even though your mom was coming home later, I was going to be all right with it.
Right. And you still believe that? So stop saying such BS lies about me when you don't even have the evidence to back it up.
But the thing is, Duncan, I have the evidence. I have security footage of you clearly pushing our son down those stairs.
There's no way in hell you have something like that.
Well, unfortunately, I do. You might have never known about this, but a while back, I had told you about how the apartment complex would be installing security cameras all throughout the building. And, well, they got all those cameras installed a few weeks ago.
They had cameras installed?
At first, the building owner was just talking about having them installed at the front entrance. But many people started to ask that they be installed at stairwells and elevators, too. And that's how you were able to be caught clear as day, shoving Kyle down those stairs.
That's just the camera's fault. I'm sure that the angling was just off and it made it seem as though I pushed him. And that's why you're blaming me for his fall now?
Are you serious?
Of course. And here's another thing. Even if I had pushed him down those stairs, then why did I end up falling down those stairs too? No matter how you try and frame all of this on me, what makes you think I'd force myself down those stairs too on my own?
As he was falling down the first step, he grabbed a hold of you and got you off balance, right? And that's how you ended up falling with him. It's all in that video, Duncan. Are you really going to continue trying to make up excuses? Did nothing wrong, so let's see if they can agree with that. Although I'm not too sure they will. After that, the police that arrived to talk with Duncan ended up taking him into custody and moved him out of the hospital. He didn't really get all too hurt anyway in his fall down those stairs and was only in the hospital to get some x-rays done, and that was it. So the doctors had no problem with the police taking him away and actually encouraged it after hearing about what he did to Kyle. After being taken into the police station, he was shown the footage of him pushing Kyle down the stairwell, and then asked one last time if he'd done it or not. At that point, he confessed, and with that, the police told him he wouldn't be going anywhere for some time and would have to get nice and comfortable in a jail cell. Of course, after all that Duncan had done to my little boy, this led to me divorcing him. I'm not sure what's happened to him since being locked up in a county jail, because I cannot be asked to go there and visit, so who knows if he's doing all right or not. The only thing I've heard about from the police is that he continues to blame Kyle for all that's happened, saying that if Kyle had never failed that simple test, he wouldn't be in jail. However, in my eyes, along with everyone else's, the education that one has means nothing when you never learned how to think about others and their feelings, and go to all lengths to cause harm to those that you chose not to understand. So, really, you could say that Kyle is even smarter than his own dad, and honestly, I completely agree with that now. After what had happened to him, Kyle had to spend a few weeks in the hospital as the doctors made sure his head was healing up okay. But after being released from there, he was then able to join some of his old friends and enjoy their summer break before he entered his first year as a middle schooler. Now he's in 7th grade, and so far has been excelling at all of his schoolwork, while also having some time to spend with his friends. It seems that even after all the things his dad did to him, both physically and mentally, Kyle is able to move on and enjoy his life, with none of that holding him back. And seeing that makes